Hello and welcome to the Potty Mouth Preacher. I am Lisa Czak, your host, transforming women's minds, bodies, and souls, one F-bomb at a time. Don't forget to subscribe and just hit the little subscribe button right there so that even more women can get transformed in their minds, bodies, and spirits by the Potty Mouth Preacher. I appreciate you doing that. And go ahead and rate, review if you have something nice to say. Otherwise, don't say anything at all, as my mom would say. And feel free to comment throughout the show. I love when you comment and you interact. I want this to be an interactive podcast. On today's episode, this is so exciting. In case you haven't heard, my big announcement is no, I'm not pregnant. My big announcement is another baby that I'm birthing, and that is Worthy Woman Wellness Retreats. I'm bringing the retreats back. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read my book, Portal Tears, Drowning the Demons Beneath the Fat to Keep the Weight from Coming Back. Steve, go ahead and put it up there for them. You can get it on audiobook also. It's a very long book. I suggest you read my whole shit show of a story. It's like all the worst things that happened to me that ended up being blessings are in that book. If you don't want to read all the 400 and some pages or listen to it, just head to the Destin or Destiny chapters. I think there's 3 chapters, which across the board, the feedback that I'm getting, which is one of the reasons I'm doing this retreat, women are reading my book, listening to my book and saying, when are you doing another retreat? The retreat chapters were my favorite chapters, the Destin chapter and the Destiny chapter. So go ahead and familiarize yourself with what I do on these retreats. And I'm going to be doing a lot of new things. For those of you who came on the Destin retreat, it's not going to be a repeat because I have grown and I have learned a lot. I became a certified healer. I'm owning that shit that I'm a healer. Yeah, thank you, Jesus, for giving me that power. And so anyways, that's what we're going to be doing. So on the show today, though, we have Angelina Rodau. I hope I'm saying your name right, Angelina. I'm really bad with last names. Anyway, Angelina happens to be the yoga coordinator, the marketing coordinator, a world-renowned yoga expert who's going to be leading us every day on the retreat. That's how we get to start our day. Wait till you meet her. You are going to love her. And I'm going to read you her bio so that you know what she is about. Before I do that, if you don't want to wait and you just want to go ahead and book Worthy Woman Wellness Retreats, that's happening in May 2023 over Memorial Weekend, click the link. Steve's going to put it up there for you. Steve's my amazing producer. And so that you can just skip all this and head straight to the link and say, yes, I am worth it. I'm investing in myself. Okay, now I'm going to read Angelina's, her bio, what you have to look forward to. So Angelina, after her study, she traveled to the Dominican Republic to deepen her knowledge of yoga. As a result, by the way, Dominican Republic is where the retreat is going to be. You see the link here? She began to give her first courses in the lovely Shala, that's where we're all doing yoga every morning, of the Hotel Villa Serena. That's the venue, surrounded by beautiful sights, hummingbirds, waves rolling against the shore, gentle breezes, swaying coconut trees, and the smell of exotic flowers. She couldn't imagine a better start as a yoga teacher. I can't either. Can you imagine that? Her goal is to motivate her students to live yoga on and off the mat. We're going to be talking about that in this episode, and to inspire them to reconnect more intensely with themselves, their bodies, to learn about themselves, connect with their inner being, start chasing their dreams, and take care of the most important thing in their lives, themselves. In other words, she's also going to be helping you to put your own oxygen mask on first, which is the whole point of the retreat, right? You're going to stop taking care of everyone else at the expense of your own health. We're going to stop starting, right? Start. No, we're not doing that anymore. You're just going to consistently take care of yourself. So when the wind blows the wrong way, you don't abandon yourself again. All right. As always, we're going to start by helping you shift gears, because I know you got a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things going on in your life, the new year. Close your eyes if you're able to, not if you're driving. Take 3 deep cleansing breaths in and really let that shit out on the exhale. Exhale like you mean it. 2 more. And with each exhale, I want you to pretend like your device has a trap door on the back of it. And with each exhale, you're letting out each label as mom, wife, student, friend, daughter, CEO, entrepreneur, coach, healer, stay-at-home mom, retired mom, whatever it is. You're just gonna focus on you in here for once. This is part of your practice of focusing on yourself, taking care of yourself. And I know you got things weighing you down, weighing heavy on your heart. Let's get rid of those too. You don't need those. The anxiety, doubt, fear, shame, resentment, anger, frustration, all the thoughts that you have, get rid of those thoughts too. I'm not good enough. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Beating yourself up. Let it all out on the outside of this device. You don't need it in here. And give me another deep cleansing breath in. And welcome back to the Potty Mouth Preacher. Lastly, we're going to do celebrations real quick. It's all of those little seemingly insignificant decisions, thoughts, behaviors, and people you allow into your life that lead you one step closer to your goal of being the woman that God created you to be. You're no longer waking up wanting, pining away. You are being this woman that God created you to be every single day, and you celebrate every little step along the way, because there is no finish line until death. And even then, that's really a new beginning, isn't it? Yes, it is. So my celebration is going to be this probably until right up into the retreat. I'm celebrating the fact that I am realizing this vision of having a retreat. And I'm going out of my comfort zone with this retreat because the last one was in the United States. I'm not a world traveler, you guys. I'm not. Like, I've been to Canada and Mexico, and now suddenly I'm going to the Caribbean, right? And the Dominican Republic, and I'm having a retreat there, which is why we're having Angelina on to calm me the fuck down too, right? Like, what are we expecting? What are we walking into? I'm going to be just as surprised as you are. Wait till you see the pictures in the video we're going to show you in this episode so you can get an idea of the landscape there and the atmosphere there. It looks like paradise to me. Honest to God, it looks like paradise. So I am celebrating that even though I am uncomfortable, right? And I have some fear. I'm walking through that fear along with you. Like, let's do this together. And maybe some of you are world travelers. I hope so. I hope I get some that are like, yeah, I've been all over the world. And you can help us while we're there. So anyway, let's get started with the show. Let's get this party started, get this retreat started, and click the link. Steve put up the link for the retreat. If you just want to skip all of this and just say, nope, I'm in, Lisa. Like, I'm jumping. I'm taking care of myself. I'm investing in myself. I'm saying yes to myself for once. Click the link and you can see the itinerary. You can see what to expect, what's included, what's not included. Lovely pictures, a lot of pictures of the venue, your room, what that's going to look like. Click the link and just go ahead and book it. Just jump. If you have any questions, you can post them here. I love hearing your comments and your questions. Or you can just email me at lisacizak@gmail.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Even if you want to get on a Zoom call and chat about it, we can do that too. All right, let's go. Now let's get this party started. Okay, so Angelina, I can't thank you enough for being on the Potty Mouth Preacher podcast today. And I'm so excited that I'm going to be joining you in May over Memorial Weekend for my first retreat there. And I'm so jealous that you're there right now. Before we started this, you showed me a quick view of the ocean and it literally took my breath away. So I want to tell everyone to stay tuned because at the end of this, you're going to be showing them their own view so that they can see what to expect. So why don't you just tell us just a little bit about yourself? You know, how we know, I know that you're a yoga, world-renowned yoga expert, and I'm so excited to be able to be experiencing your yoga every morning on the retreat. That's going to be really, really special for all of us. So just tell us a little bit about just how you got into yoga, why you got into yoga, and where your yoga career began.
Sure. Well, how I started with yoga was actually when I was studying, and I felt like everything became super stressful and everything was too much for me. So what I did one day was just to turn on YouTube and just finding something that kind of relaxes me. And it was a yoga video. So I started this yoga video, and I've done yoga before, but not really much. I think it was one of the kind of first classes. It was 30 minutes and it was, I think, even beginner. But I realized how much unflexible I was. The next day, I had the worst muscle sore and I felt like, wow, I felt parts in my body that I didn't even know that there existed before. So I went the next day to university and I was like, okay, this is something I really have to do more regularly because I really feel my body's asking for it. So that's how it started. So whenever I found some time, I did like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then more and more, but nothing much. I didn't went to classes outside of it. I just did it on my own with YouTube whenever I felt I need to breathe and stretch.
Mm.
And yeah, and then somehow I ended up for an internship due to for the university. I had to do an internship. I ended up in Spain in a yoga studio. Long story short, I wasn't planning to go there. My initial plan was to go to California and to do an internship there, but 1 month before it kind of got canceled, and I sent out like quick some resumes so to get another internship. So it was this yoga studio in Marbella, in Spain. And that was actually the beginning. So, because then I was confronted with yoga and meditation all day long, every day. And this time also being part of a yoga community and doing daily yoga, because I had the chance to visit any yoga class I wanted, to visit any meditation class I wanted. So that's actually where I started to do yoga on a regular basis and daily, actually, and as well meditation. So I tried meditation before, but it was more of a 5 minutes sitting in quietness and then trying to understand what you're doing, and then you're just stopping. But in that time, you couldn't because it was a guided group meditation. So you had to sit there for 45 minutes. And once you do it more and more, you start to realize what it's actually giving you. And the whole time was also kind of life changing for me. It was a complete mindset shift. It was a perspective shift in every possible area you can think of. And then at the end, I got also gifted with a yoga teacher training, which I did then for, I think I went back like 3, 4 times. And then I had a certification. I still didn't plan to teach yoga. It was something for myself. I wanted to understand. It was alone just to go there for understanding what you're actually doing. Where does it come from? To learn about the philosophy was already so much for me. And I really appreciated everything that happened to me since the day I entered the studio and when I left. And then I went back to studies. I had to write exams. I had to write my thesis. So I didn't really have time to focus on it. So what happened is that I said, whenever I finish my studies, I will go somewhere and I will study on my own yoga and deep into it. So that's how I came up, how I came here. Yeah, and that's how I met the owners from the hotel, and we started to talk, and that was the place where I first taught yoga. And since then, I mean, since this very first internship, yoga have never left me. It was always kind of with me, and everything opened up so quick for me. So yoga was kind of meant to be for me, I suppose, because everything led to it. So yeah, and now I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm doing it every day. I love to give classes. It's also so much for myself. Like, I do a lot for myself. To start the day with a yoga class is, I think, the best you can do. And I think I mean, this is now a little bit of my story, but that gives you an overview
I love it. I
of
love the
how.
fact that you got into it based on you were stressed out, right? So many women can relate to this. I can relate to this. Like, you're searching, I can just see you searching on YouTube, like, help, I need help, right? And now you
Yes.
give that to me. I absolutely love that, because I have to admit, Angelina, I'm one of those people that I'm like afraid of yoga. I have taken yoga classes, but I feel intimidated because I think I'm not flexible enough. And a lot of the women I work with will say the same thing. Well, I want to, it
But
seems
then
kind of
we,
scary. And, or like the women I work with think, oh, but I'm overweight. Can I do it if I'm overweight? Like, can you do the yoga if you're overweight? Can you do it if your fitness level? You answered it because you said yourself that you realized, wow, you didn't know what you needed until you did it, right?
yes, of course. And you can do anything. As long as you're willing to do something, you can always do
Mhm.
anything. There's no can I do or can you do. There's yes, you can. If you try,
Mhm.
there's always a possibility to find a way. Maybe it's harder at the beginning, but there's a way and it will become easier. And let's be honest, if everyone would be flexible, who needs then yoga? And if everyone would be not stressed out, like, you don't need it then. That's why it's funny if when people say, I'm not too flexible enough for yoga, but I mean, that's why you're doing yoga. You want
Mhm.
to get more flexible. You want to. Oh, I wasn't flexible at all. I mean, you
Mhm.
should have seen me, how unflexible I was. That's what I said at the beginning. I was
Mhm.
shocked how unflexible I was. I barely reached with my hands when you go over your legs. I barely reached like over my knees, and it hurt. And and now, and that's what happens. The more you practice, the more everything opens up and the more flexible you get. And that's why you do
Mhm.
yoga. And you don't do yoga just because you already are flexible enough or,
That's so
or
true.
yeah.
So, can you describe for us, because on the retreat every morning, that's how the women are going to start their day. This sounds amazing. I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. So, can you describe to us, like, what kind of yoga are we going to be doing and where are we going to be doing this yoga?
So the yoga will be on a shala just in front of the ocean, surrounded by the ocean, an amazing view with an island in front of you, little island, which you can also visit with a kayak or swim over. And yes, and it will be a feel-good yoga. It's just to have a good start of a day. It's not too much, it's not too
Mhm.
less. It's just the perfect mix between stretching and between getting a little bit strength into the body, calming the mind. Very important. I take a lot of time for centering at the beginning to do a
Mm.
meditation. And at the end, I have a good and long shavasana, which I think is one of the most important parts. So, where we again center before we really start the day, the breakfast, the day, and it's yeah,
I
it's
might
a
not
one
leave.
hour.
I might just, ask
Yeah,
Bill, the
you're
owner, if I could just
welcome.
stay there and, like, help out or something. So
We'll find.
back up a second. When you were describing this, you said that part of our view while we're doing this yoga is going to be looking out at a floating island, you called it. And you said,
Mm.
can you talk a little bit about kayaking and swimming out to this island? How far is it?
Sure.
What fitness level is that for?
Well, maybe swimming needs. I'm not a swimmer, and I never was, but I can manage to swim over the kayak. We have kayaks which are included, so you can just take the kayak, and then you also. It would be good if you are kind of have some experience to go over to the island, but if it's not too windy and the water is still, you can try at least to see how you feel at the beginning, and then once you feel secure you can go to the island, and it's not too far. Maybe with the kayak, depends how fast you go, maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then
That's
swimming
that's it.
probably
It's
the same.
15 minutes to a floating. Can you get off and go on to it? You said the island's
Yeah,
floating. Oh, you
yeah,
can?
no, it's not floating. I mean, it's not float, it is
Uh-huh.
in the water.
Okay.
I can show it to you later when we do the
Let me
view.
do
I
the
show you what
okay.
exactly I mean, but
Mm,
it's an island in the middle of the water. It's really nice, and you can walk there. You can leave your kayak at the front and walk around.
yeah, that's one of the things I'd like us to do as a group, is sort of a get over your fears kind of
Yeah.
activity. So, what other, I know there's a hike too that we can take. You mentioned a hike. Can you describe a little
Mhm.
bit about this hike?
Yes, it's a 7 beaches hike, but for that, well, there's many hikes. I would say there's like a
Mhm,
low basic hike where you don't really need to go up and down, where the way is
mhm,
good, and that is just along the coast
mhm,
in Las Galeras. Or you take a little the one that is a bit more than just a walk,
mhm,
uh, and there you walk along 7 very beautiful beaches that are mostly not visited because it's not easy to reach that place
mhm.
without. You can walk there, and the boats are mostly going to other beaches, so the ones in between are not very much visited. So it mostly
Ooh.
you're, or if I walk by, I'm mostly alone in all of these beaches.
And that's the one I'd like to take the women on, the one that you just described, that you can't really see, like most people don't know about. I love that. I absolutely love that. What other activities can they do at Villa Serena during, because we're going to have some downtime. And so what other
Hmm.
activities can they, would you suggest doing?
Relax at the pool. It's a very
Ooh.
nice hotel just to stay at the
Mm-hmm.
pool, look at the ocean, that's read a book, have a cocktail,
Mm-hmm.
and massages. We have very good
Mm-hmm.
massages. Our massagist Maria is actually the best I have ever had, as and I had some
Really?
massages, and I believe she's the best I've ever
Wow.
experienced. And yeah, do
Okay.
kayak. There's this
Mm-hmm.
platform open if you want to do yoga on your own or meditate. You
Mm-hmm.
can anytime go to the platform, do some yoga, do some meditation. You can go snorkeling. We have snorkel equipment, paddleboard. We even have one paddleboard that you can use and try out.
And
There's always something.
you
Yes.
said a word that, can you describe what this is? You said the yoga takes place in the shala. Is that what you called it? A shala?
It's a platform. Yes. It's a like a. I will. That's also something I can show once we go out.
Okay. Okay.
And it's a beautiful platform with it's open as well,
Mm-hmm.
so but it's called like it has a roof, so the sunshine cannot hit much
Ooh,
and it's shadowy.
and then it overlooks the ocean. That sounds
Yes.
amazing. So, do they need to bring their own yoga mats? Do you provide all
No,
of
we have
that?
everything.
Okay. And there's some, speaking of yoga mats, there's something that I read in some, I don't know, something, I've been stalking you, Angelina, in a good
Okay.
way, just to see what you're about, right? And one thing that I love that you said, and I would like you to just go into little detail about what it means to live yoga on and off the mat. I've never heard that
Okay,
before. So what does
really?
that mean? Yeah.
Oh, well, it's just that you don't do everything what you do on your mat, just on the mat. Like, for example, you go to the yoga class, you sit on the mat, you breathe, you try to calm your thoughts
Mm-hmm.
down, you try to calm everything down, and you take care of yourself basically. But that's
Mm-hmm.
something you should take also with you into the day. You should take care of you out of the mat. You should breathe, take some breaths in between daily tasks, just to be also more aware of your surroundings. And yeah, there's so much about yoga philosophy that you can not only
Mm-hmm.
do on the mat but also out of the mat. And it's not only the practice yoga doesn't mean the pure practice of asanas. It also means way more, which, like, there's the philosophy, the yamas,
Mm-hmm.
the niyamas, all of this that you need to practice also in life, and be
I love
mindful
that.
about it.
I love that because that's,
Mindful through the day.
as you know, you've read all the information about my retreat since you're helping me plan it. And I'm all about that's the whole thing for my retreat. Learn to put your oxygen mask on first, right? Before you can care for
Mm-hmm.
others. So I
Yes.
have chills right now because what an amazing experience they're going to have, right? It's not just body move, it's mind, body, and soul
Yes.
transformation. I love
Yeah.
that. Like now I can remind them through the day. Remember what Angelina taught you in yoga, right? If you're afraid to get in that kayak and kayak out to that island, tap, like do the breathing that she taught you, learn how to calm yourself, face your fears, do it anyway, all of that. Oh, I absolutely love
And
this.
that you can do anything you want. You just need to
Yeah,
do it sometimes and start slowly and then
start,
progress, as with
right.
everything in life.
And so on the retreat, it's going to be 5 days, right? 4 nights, 5 days. Will they see an improvement? I'm asking for myself too, Angelina. Am I going to see an improvement from the first day to the last in that short a time
So with the yoga you're
with the
talking about,
yoga?
just
Yeah.
the yoga, yes, of course. I mean, it takes, just sit for 5 minutes and breathe in and out,
Mm-hmm.
and you will already feel so much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always, even the first class, you will experience how to, I don't know how, maybe there are some yogis that do that on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do that the first time, you might really start to being aware of your breath, and you how calming
Mm-hmm.
it can become in your body when you just take the time for it, and you really try to pause life and say, okay, this is my time. Now I'm going to breathe. Now I'm going to move. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm going to take care of myself. So, and then, yeah, so then the feeling comes out by itself at the end.
I love that. It just sounds like there's so many benefits to yoga. I'm learning just from you and here. I can't even imagine once I actually get into that physical space at Villa Serena, how much more powerful it's going to be.
Yeah.
And
Should I show around? Like, should I go to the platform just to get an idea? Like, just by
yeah,
the look, you get already
yeah,
calmer.
I would
I
love that. I would
believe.
love to see it. So yeah, let's take a little tour around and see what we got going on there. So where are you now? Is this the main area
So
of
I'm
Villa
at the
Serena?
hotel. This is the lobby,
Okay.
and this is the
Wow.
whole area.
Take me away now. So let me ask you, Angelina, what advice, like if you had to, as a yoga teacher, just everything you've learned yourself from yoga and all your practice and all your studying, What advice do you have for women? Because these are the women I work with who take care of everyone else at the expense of their own health. What is the main piece of advice you could give them?
Oh, good question. To take to start taking care of themselves. Very important. For example, to go to your retreat and treat yourself right. Do the step, take your time and say, now it's time for myself. Now I'm going to do something for myself. Sometimes you need only this, the choice of now it's my time. And everything else will work out. But just to have this awareness that to understand that you are as much as important to yourself as you are to others is something what changes things as well. Just to say I'm important too, and now it's my time. Now I have to do something, and just sit for 10 minutes. It's not much a day. Just do something for 20 or 10 to 20 minutes that only belongs to you. That might be just some breathing, some meditation, some yoga, some creative things, whatever it is, just taking it and not being available for others. It might be hard sometimes, but it's mostly just a choice and a habit that needs to be that needs to be integrated into daily life before actually it can become a habit. So yeah,
I
I
love
think
that. That is great advice. Exactly. Learning to take and not feeling guilty about it, right? So many women.
exactly. No, because there's no need to feel guilty about it. You are as much
Mhm,
as important as you are for others, for yourself. So
mhm.
we need to take care of ourselves too. That's only when we take care of ourselves, we are able to fully take care of others properly, I believe.
Exactly. That is so true. That's the whole retreat in a nutshell. That's my whole business in a nutshell, Angelina. So, how can people get in touch with you if they have more questions? And okay, this is the other question, two questions. How can they get in
Sure.
touch with you? And what can my women that go and me too, like what after we get home, do you offer any like Zoom yoga? Do you offer
Yes,
anything? You
definitely.
do?
Yes, and I also have actually videos on YouTube, some that are actually on the Shala. So if you already want to get a feeling for it, you can you can check on YouTube. There's like 10 videos, which you
What do
can
we look
also find
for?
through. Well, you
Your
can find it also through the website. So I can write down my details, and then if this has if this has a comment box or anything where you can put comments, they can just text me via email, or I can add my Instagram, so you can find
Great. I'm so
anything.
excited. You know, I actually want to check out one of your YouTube. So where do I go on YouTube? Do I go to Villa Serena or do I go to your
No,
name? What
yoga,
do I do?
mindfulness, health.
Okay, there
Yoga,
we go.
mindfulness, health.
Okay, yoga, mindfulness, health. And these are videos of you teaching yoga.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm totally going to do this. I
And
am.
also guided meditations.
Ah, even better. Both?
And I have
Okay.
some videos about the philosophy. So if you want to know little bit more about yoga and philosophy, I'm just starting, but there's already like 2 videos where I explain the Om, where I explain the 8 limbs of Patanjali. So it's just some videos for philosophy, for
This
yoga,
is
and for meditation.
okay. So I always give soul work at the end of every podcast because, you know, we were just talking about, right? If they just hear me talking and then they don't do anything, okay. If they just hear me talking and they don't ever put it into action, nothing's going to change. So this is going to be their soul work. So all you viewers out there, your soul work for this week is to go on yoga mindfulness on YouTube, right?
Yoga,
And
mindfulness, health.
yoga mindfulness health on YouTube and start carving out a little bit of time for yourself by
Yeah.
doing Angelina's either guided meditation or her yoga or both. That's what I'm personally going to do. And then we can compare and I'll talk in a group because I have a group that I'm going to put them all in. So anyways, I can't thank you enough for being on here, Angelina. I really appreciate. I know you're a busy woman over there in the Dominican Republic. Clear something up for me before we go. I've been telling people I'm having a retreat in the Caribbean. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean? Which way do I say it?
In English? Oh wow, you're asking someone about English. I mean, that's not my, it's not even my
How do you
mother
say
tongue.
it?
I mean, Caribbean, I think. Caribbean?
Caribbean. Yeah, that's what I
Caribbean?
say. Okay, I was just curious. Everybody says it a little different. And some people are like, no, it's Caribbean. Other
I
people
think
say
you can say whatever as long as we
thank you,
all understand
Angelina.
what it's about. You can do what you can say anything.
It doesn't matter, right? It's just the point
No.
is join Angelina and I on this beautiful Caribbean exclusive retreat, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go. That's it. That's
Okay.
true.